My entire hometown and family lied to me for over 30 years. I've been grappling with this for over a year, technically 6, but I'll get to that, and I'd really like some input. The people I have in my life are empathetic but do not have the same or even similar experiences to this, so they have been unable to truly help me deal with this. I am 36F, and I grew up in a tiny town in the South. In my household, there was me, my mom and dad, both deceased, my sister, 57F, and my niece, 33F. When my niece was born, my sister was married to a monster who she ended up divorcing when I was about 8. He spent time in prison for crimes against the children his second wife had, along with the infant he had with her. I spent my life growing up thankful that I was not related by blood to this man. The origin story that I was told for myself was that my parents, who were 48 mom and 52 dad at the time of my birth, had me as a change-of-life baby. They told me many times over the years growing up that I was an oops, but a happy one. I was told I was a 2-month preemie, born in September but due in November. I grew up alongside my niece essentially as siblings since we were so close in age. I view my sister as a sibling, yes, but in a closer role to a third parent. I had more of a sibling dynamic with my niece, the fights, the having to be the responsible one because I was older, etc. Things weren't great for me. I went through a lot of abuse, but that's not the focus of this story. When I was 18, I moved out of the home and ended up living with who would become my first husband in 2007. My family was on shaky ground with me, but I ended up making amends and introducing him to them. For the next couple years, we visited regularly, and things seemed to be going decently well. My dad passed away in 2009, and I got married in 2010. After the wedding, things went downhill, and I ended up cutting contact with my bio family. Fast forward to 2017. I received a friend request and message request on Facebook from my niece informing me that my mother had passed away. I went to the funeral for closure, and she reached out after, stating that she wanted to try and keep what was left of the family together. Things went well, and she and my sister came to visit me for Thanksgiving that year. We talked sporadically over the following year until the following Thanksgiving. My now ex-husband and I had just moved into a new home and had the space to host them for the Thanksgiving weekend. I wish I could say things went well, but they did not. Their visit ended up being extremely stressful for me, and I ended up deciding that I wanted to cut contact again and let her know that December. As far as I was concerned, I was never speaking with them again. In January of 2019, my niece sent a message to my ex-husband since I had her blocked. The message stated that she and I were actually siblings and that I was adopted by my parents. At the time, I didn't pay it any mind and we did not respond since I was fairly certain it was a manipulation tactic to try and get back into my life. For the next 5 years, I went about my life. Divorced my first husband, moved across the country, and got married again in 2021. I'd been living in my new state and had purchased a house with second husband and 2 roommates in 2023, and my niece had hardly even crossed my mind. Then, in May of last year, I received a random message request. Since I'd had her original account blocked, my niece had made a fake one to talk to me. She told me that she had grown and matured and wanted to try to mend things again. This is where I found out that she had not been making up the story of my adoption. She revealed that the reason I had been adopted was because the monster had threatened to kidnap and run off with me as a baby, and that was the only way my sister could stop him. I even called my best friend from high school to tell her, and she said, "I'm sorry. I was sworn to secrecy." Literally everyone besides me and my niece knew. Also, since they are legally sister and niece, I won't be changing how I refer to them to prevent confusion. My entire family, the entire town I grew up in, they all knew. They kept this from me until after my parents both passed away, and I didn't realize it was true until last year. I'm still majorly struggling with this. I've since left my most recent marriage, and I'm living on my own now. My identity doesn't feel real, and I wonder if I'll ever feel whole. I still haven't spoken to my sister since this revelation. I'm not ready to unpack everything with her yet. I would love to hear some of your takes because I'm still lost. Thank you for reading.